Yeah,
Good.
I'll start. So my fantasy league is UWSP Fantasy, and I'm not doing very well. I'm 3-8 right now, but I have some good players, so that's my league right there.
I'm not doing well in that league either, but in my main league, I believe 7-4. I got a pretty good lineup right now. I'm currently third, but they're all three are in 7-4 at the top, so pretty good right there. Other league, not so much either.
Well, in this league, I'm relying heavily on Drew Brees and Jimmy Graham, kind of. Other
Hmm.
leagues have been kind of up and down, bouncing back 6-5 or whatever in my other league, so getting hot for the playoffs.
Yeah, in this UWSB fantasy league, I rely on the running backs of Benny Cunningham and Carlos Hyde, which are like backup running backs on their team. So not the way I want to go in this league.
I've been relying on Aaron Rodgers. He's doing pretty good for my league. He's helping me a lot, so that's my quarterback. So he's really
All
helping.
right.
Yeah, so
So
in like the last week, what do you guys think? Who are some of the standout players from last week?
studs from last week, I say Mike Evans. I mean, third straight game with 7 catches and over 100 yards and a touchdown. And then Aaron Rodgers back to back, pretty darn good games with 6 touchdowns and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
would
I
say
have to.
Aaron Rodgers too, because he had 22 out of 36 passes last week's game, and they were able to pull it off. Well, it was a blowout, but it still helped. So I think Aaron Rodgers for
Yeah,
sure.
I have to agree. Rodgers, Mike Evans, and the guy I played against in my one league, he had Aaron Rodgers, Mike Evans. Alshon Jeffrey was a big performer too. He had a big day.
Hmm.
And Packers defense, they usually with the Philadelphia Eagles defense, and the Packers defense was the one that put up the big numbers this past week. And I have tight end position too. Kobe Fleener stepped up after Dwayne Allen went down, so that's another big performer I think from last week.
Hmm.
Um, Le'Veon Bell had a big week too last week. He my one league, he almost had 30 points. He ran for 207 yards and 1 touchdown. So I mean, if you get a running back running 200 yards, you're gonna have a pretty good week.
Yeah. Um.
Uh, Players I think for this week on the waiver wire to look out for. I assume Jonas Gray. I mean, he's another stud from last week. He ran for 4 touchdowns and was it 200 something yards?
Yeah, he got
I don't
over
know.
200 with a stat correction.
Yeah, so I mean, he was a must add this week. Then
Um,
I don't know
I'd
the running
say
backs.
if no one's picked up Josh Gordon yet, obviously now that he's back from his suspension, he'll be their number one receiver. So I think he'd be a good pickup if he hasn't
Yeah.
been claimed already.
Yeah, thinking in
Definitely.
Cleveland, I think if you don't have Isaiah Kroll or Terrence West, you should pick them up too. If with Ben Tate being released, and he goes to Minnesota, so if anybody had Ben Tate, maybe you just hold on to him, and then LeGarrette Blount, I think he's more value now in New England than he was in Pittsburgh. He might get more carries and looks in Pittsburgh. So if you don't have him, I would add him to your lineup.
Hmm.
Um,
People who you like
who
for
do you
this week.
who do I like for this week? I think um, I think the matchup with I like the Cow. I have Romo and Des Bryant, and I think those guys are just every week they can put up the points, and they're going against the Giants, and they put up points last time against them back in Dallas. So I think Tony Romo week to heal. I think he'll be ready to go. Uh, I don't know. Uh, what do you guys think? I'm kind of looking around to
I
see where's the
know
match.
Andrew
I think
Luck is
I think
Andrew Luck is projected a lot this week. Obviously, I think he leads the league in passing yards. Then going up against the lowly Jacksonville Jaguars, so I think he should have a big day this week.
I
I
think
think Packers.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I think Aaron Rodgers when they play the Vikings and Teddy, like that should be a good matchup. I think so.
Yeah, I think that's any if you have any Packer players, say Nelson, Cobb, Devontae Adams, Aaron Rodgers,
Hmm.
Eddie Lacy, I think they're just a smart play all around.
Yeah.
Maybe some I don't know about maybe the Bears, like Brandon Marshall or Alshon Jeffrey, they're playing against the Buccaneers. You never know what kind of team Tampa Bay is this week, or the Bears. They might be worth a play. I wouldn't play Jay Cutler if I was a
Yeah.
person.
No,
Yeah.
I would person I wouldn't
I don't
play
know
this
about.
week would be Julius Thomas coming off the injury against the Rams, and then the Dolphins D doesn't allow that many points to opposing tight ends anyway, so I'd bench Julius Thomas for this week.
Mhm.
Yeah, I agree with. I mean, he's listed as questionable. They came out with the report today that he's listed questionable. Emmanuel Sanders is probable, so I don't know if people have him, they're going to play him. If Julius Thomas is questionable, I think you still have to play him anyways. Just regardless, he's a touchdown machine. You gotta keep him in your lineup. Tight end isn't the strongest position out there to pick up a guy to replace him. Uh, is there any other players you guys think to look out for? Maybe some guys if you want to for coming down to the playoff stretch that are probably going to be playmakers coming up.
Yeah, like you said, I think Jordy Nelson and Eddie Lacy for sure.
Well, Marshawn Lynch, even though he's been injured, he's been rolling as of late. Most broken tackles in the league, and especially a ton of yards between the tackles. So he's been playing real well right now, even though he's a little banged up.
And I think for the playoff stretch for next week, talking maybe more future, is this Murray guy for the Raiders. He might be a worth a
Wait,
add for like maybe the next coming weeks for waivers. Yeah, he's gonna. Looks like he might be the featured guy in Oakland, and they may be a bad team, but that can really help a fantasy team out to pick up a guy like that, especially in a deep league. So I think this Murray guy might be something worth that can help a team at the playoffs.
Something to look out for, or someone to look out for. Yeah.
Is there anything else we maybe didn't cover? I know. I mean, we talked about our fantasy teams. I mean, have there been some disappointing players that you guys have had this season?
disappointing players. Uh, Adrian Peterson, a lot of people spent a lot of high draft picks on him, but obviously he's suspended for the year. So some people taking a flyer on Jerick McKinnon. I mean, the Packers don't exactly have the greatest run defense, so maybe his scores his first career touchdown this week.
Yeah, I would agree with the McKinnon thing that he's more the feature guy, but the problem is Asiata's gotten all the touchdowns, so that's where all
Well,
the points go.
Asiata's out for this week, so and Ben
Oh, he
Tate,
is.
how much he's gonna play, so McKinnon could have a big day.
Yeah, he could, especially depending on what run defense shows up. And
Yeah.
last week, Packers they got out front pretty early, so they forced Eagles to throw the ball. So I think it depends on how that offense gets up front today on Sunday.
Yeah, and I think Mark Sanchez probably has a bounce back game this week too. I don't exactly know who they play, but I think he'll have a bounce
And
back game.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's a guy that I've kind of been disappointed in, but he's kind of coming along now. It's Bishop Sankey, the running back for Tennessee. He's starting to finally get the touches. I think as a rookie, he was supposed to be the top rookie running back to have this year, and I had him a couple leagues, and now he's finally starting to produce because they're featuring him more.
Yeah. Well, mine is I'm disappointed in Jay Cutler, but that's Jay Cutler for you. So he's not. I don't see any potential in the future at all from the
Yeah, I
Bears.
mean he's got the targets, but for every touchdown he throws like 3 interceptions. So
Yeah. So
Well, all right then.
yeah, I think that's about it. That's all I got for.
That's all I got too for now.
Okay, see you guys later.
bye.